G'day, you bunch of Dead Set legends, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another edition of Show Us Your Tips. Look, hope you guys had a good week, pick some winners. Perfect 9 over here, by the way. We are back, baby. That is right. We have played ourselves into some good form in the tipping game, that's for sure. On that, actually, I can't even remember what I said the margin was going to be in the first game this last week for Gather Round, but look, in the home league, perfect round and perfect margin. That's right, we're back. So yeah, look, hopefully we can keep that form rolling and tip some winners today. But look, before we get into that, guys, you all know the drill. Social media accounts, Twitter, X, the eBay store, all that good stuff. Links to that will be downstairs in the description of this video. You guys know what it is. Yeah, look, I think that's all the faffing. I'm pretty time poor today, so we're going to get stuck straight into it. Let's get it. Alright, dudes and dudettes, we are kicking off the Gather Round hangover on Thursday night with Melbourne taking on the Lions at the MCG. Oh, well, the Lions played themselves into a bit of form last weekend. You know, had a massive win over North Melbourne, as I think everyone thought they were going to do. But, you know, moving into the Melbourne Demons is a much different proposition, and I am going to go with the D's. I think they're going to be too strong. Really looking like a top 3 or 4 side this year for sure. And I think just because it's at the MCG, I do think they're going to get it done at home. But I think it's going to be a close one. So I'm going to lock in the Melbourne Demons, by about 9 points, I reckon, just under 2 goals. And then moving on, we got Friday night footy kicking off with the Bulldogs taking on the Bombers. The Bulldogs have looked okay this year. Again, they're kind of hot, they're cold, they're yes, they're no. Someone should write a song like that. But look, I do think the Dogs are going to get it done here. I think they're going to get it done relatively well, but you never know, you never know. So look, I'm going to lock them in by, let's say, 16 points. Around about that 3-goal mark, I seems pretty fair. Although, look, I do think Bont is going to get hold of the Bombers there, and I think, I don't know, we'll see. The Bombers are pretty hard to read, as they seem to have been for the last few years, but look, we'll lock that in. Moving on next, we got the Giants taking on the Saints at Manuka Oval. Look, pretty straightforward. Look, the Saints have been pretty good. Look, Rowan Marshall was amazing last week. Him and Jack Steele really dragged him over the line there. And look, turned the tide of that game in the second half. But I do not think they will be getting the job done this week. I'm going to go with the Lions by 4 goals. I think that seems pretty fair to me. Moving on to the next game, we got Carlton versus Adelaide down at Docklands or Marvel or whatever it is it's called these days. And look, pretty straightforward here. The Crows are trash. The Crows are absolute dog caca. So, look, Carlton got pretty lucky last week. I do think that Freo were the better team on the day, but I definitely think Carlton are going to be a much better team than Adelaide on the day this weekend. So I'm going to lock them in by about 4 or 5 goals. I think, 27 points seems about fair to me. Moving on now, we've got the Gold Coast Suns taking on the Hawks and in Canberra, of all places. And look, I definitely think the Suns are going to improve their margin, improve their record, this week. And I think they're going to do it pretty comfortably. I'm going to pick the Suns here by 6 goals. I think their midfield's going to be too strong. I think their forwards are going to be too strong. I think Sam Flanders is going to be lapping up everything off that half-back line. Bringing him in fantasy this week. Pretty happy about that. Yeah, look, I think the Suns are going to be good. And I do think that this will be the year that Suns play finals for the first time. You heard it here. I think you actually heard it here in this preseason prediction video first. But yeah, no, definitely for me, it's going to be the Suns. Moving on now, this is probably for me going to be game of the round. I think it's going to be really tough to call. We got Port Adelaide hosting Freo at home at the Adelaide Oval. So they've had the extended stay in Adelaide and doing the 2-week road trip, similar to what West Coast did the last 2 weeks. Look, Freo were the better team on the day against Carlton, and it was in Adelaide, and they played pretty well. I think they were pretty unlucky at the end there. So look, I am going to back the Dockers in, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be under a goal or about a goal. So let's lock them in by 6 points. I think this one could go either way. I think this will be the real split game for people. I think this will be a pretty 50-50 split with who's tipping Port and who's tipping Freo. But I'm going to go with the hometown team for me, and I'm going to lock in the Dockers by a goal. Here we have probably the most boring game of the round. Very straightforward. Geelong here by 50 points. I just don't see that going anyway. And now we're moving on to another interesting game. Obviously, this is the last game of the round. We got Sydney and Collingwood on the bye this week. I really don't know about this one. I know I see a lot of people out here tipping West Coast, and yes, we were much better against the Swans, and we definitely pushed them for 3 quarters. But also, Richmond beat the Swans the week before and played a lot better. I think I don't know. Look, Richmond are missing a lot of players. Obviously, Bolter and Lynch in more recent times, but also Prestia. Oh God, everything's escaping me now. But they've got a few. They got a few out. We've got a few. We're not too bad on the injuries front. For the first time in a couple of years, actually, West Coast injury list is looking pretty good. We got guys coming back through the waffle. We had Dom Sheed play last week. We had who else played minutes last week? Geez, someone else, some big name, can't remember. And then we got Liam Ryan coming back through the waffle this week. So look, the cavalry's coming for West Coast. I definitely think we are going to be a much different team in the second half of the year. But look, the tough one for me is Shea Bolton. I don't know if there's anyone in our midfield that can really go with him for speed and skill. I think he's going to be really hard to stop for West Coast. And I think if he gets on a bit of a roll like he has the last couple of weeks, I think he's going to be very hard to stop for our boys. I'm absolutely chomping at the bit. You know that Harley's going to line up on Dusty in that first centre bounce, and that is going to be prime time viewing right there. Cannot wait to see that. But look, I want to tip West Coast. I really want to tip West Coast, but the faith's just not there yet. I do think it'll be a close one. And I'm gonna tip with my head here and not my heart. I'm gonna say Richmond will get it done by about 10 points. I think that's going to be pretty, I just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with the favourites, which is the Tigers, I assume. But yeah, look, don't think this will be the week West Coast get their first win, but we did see huge improvements last week. It was great. So look, guys, that's going to be it for this week. A real quick one. I've got so much on this week. We might even do a shorts thing next week, because again, I got a heap of work backing up, and I do still want to get a Team Coach video up soon. I've ordered my box. It's on the way. So yeah, hopefully we'll be getting that one done pretty soon. Looking forward to that for sure. But look, guys, that'll do us for this week. Cheers for tuning in. Yeah, hope you guys have a good week. Good luck with your fantasy. Good luck with your tips, and we'll see you in the next one.